Hi, my name's Isaac Shutt. I'm an estate planning attorney. I'm licensed to practice law both in Texas and in Wyoming. And in this video, we will discuss one of my favorite things in the world, and that is the Texas Series LLC. Now, Series LLCs are becoming incredibly popular in Texas, especially for real estate investors. So a lot of our clients here in Texas own some rental property. Maybe they have some single family residences and they've got maybe one or two or three or four rental properties that give them a little bit of passive income. And this is where the Texas Series LLC really shines. So let's talk about what it is. Now, you may have already heard that you should have your investment properties inside of an LLC. And the reason you should have those rental properties inside of an LLC is because it limits your liability. Now, limited liability doesn't mean that you can't be sued. In fact, it kind of means the opposite. It means that if you have a renter that slips and falls on your property, it can only sue that LLC. So limited liability means the liability exposure is limited to the assets of that particular LLC. So we like to think of it as, if you have an LLC, it sort of limits your worst day in court. Meaning, if you were to get sued, the absolute worst day in court would be that you would lose that one property, but all your personal assets would have nothing to do with it. Well, now comes in the Series LLC. And for the clients particularly that have more than one property, because let's say you have 5 rental residences and you've just heard me say, well, the assets of the LLC are exposed if somebody sues the LLC. Okay, well, if your worst day in court is losing one house, that's not a good day. That would be a bad day. But what would be a worse day is losing all 5 houses. And so what the Series LLC does is basically separates out each one of those 5 houses. So each little mini company is called a series. So an attorney like me sets up the Texas Series LLC, which is recorded with the Secretary of State of Texas. You have some magic lingo done by your lawyer that says your LLC can create series. And then totally internally, on your own private internal paperwork, you have the creation of Series A and Series B and Series C and so on and so forth. And then what your attorney does is convey each residential real property into its own series of the Series LLC. So it's kind of like a parent subsidiary situation. Okay, so in this way, let's say you have each one of your residential properties inside separate series of that Series LLC. If somebody slips and falls on Series A property, your worst day in court is losing only the residential property inside of Series A, and you have a really good argument that properties B, C, D, and E are totally protected because they were in different series. So in our office, we sometimes call this liability islands. So you want to kind of have each property off on its own liability island where it can't be sued. So that's really where the Series LLC shines, is for our real estate investors that have more than one property. In the good old days, if I had a client that said, Isaac, I have 5 residential real properties, what should I do? I would have said, well, you need to create 5 LLCs. So that way they each are in their own liability island. Well, that adds up. That's expensive. You got a Texas Secretary of State filing fee and attorney's fees to create 5 companies. And then you've got your tax reporting issues for 5 companies for every year. Whereas with the Series LLC, you have 1 filing fee, 1 attorney fee to create the Texas Series LLC, and oftentimes just 1 tax filing for all 5 properties, but you get all the benefit of that encapsulated liability. So they are so popular. They're still relatively new in Texas, and for that reason, as the case law was sort of being built up, a lot of attorneys didn't recommend that their clients create Texas Series LLCs, but they've now been around long enough that attorneys are more comfortable creating Texas Series LLCs because we have a buildup of case law. And to boil that down, we know it works. They've been tested in court. If done properly, the Texas Series LLCs can definitely protect your real estate property from lawsuits and minimize your exposure. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, my name is Isaac Shutt. I'm an estate planning and probate attorney. I'm licensed to practice law both in Texas and in Wyoming.